For $400, I'd buy this iPhone over the 2022 version of the iPhone SE. If you know the wallpaper, you're going to know which phone this is. This is the Apple iPhone 11 Pro. Yes, the 11 Pro from 2019, originally retailing for over $1,000 with tax, now can be found secondhand right around that $400 to $450 mark, which comes in at the same price point as Apple's latest 5G iPhone SE. I seen a comment a while ago, somebody said, the iPhone SE is Apple being lazy, essentially just another way to make some quick money here and there. I don't really see it as that. I see it as their entry-level iPhone, as a way for them to, get people in the ecosystem who aren't ready to buy the more premium stuff. It's still a pretty awesome little device over there. But I still would rather go pick up a secondhand 11 Pro. And here's why. The first reason is the body and the build. So the design of it. So I'm feeling these new phones out, like the new Galaxy Z Flip 4. You could see it right here, just an all new foldable phone. And it's still employing, that similar kind of shiny look around the edges, looking very premium and different. But you can see that Apple's been doing this premium stainless steel stuff around the edges for years. So even to this day, I pick up an 11 Pro and I'm like, if it wasn't for the channel, I probably would have just stuck with this one, because look how premium this looks and still feels. Now I pick up the SE and I think, did Apple just sell me another iPhone 6 or another iPhone 8 with just an updated processor? Most people are like, yeah, they did, Nick, duh. But I just gotta say, just the design, the body, the build, it just feels so much nicer than that iPhone SE right there. So that's why I would put my money on this one, even though this does have 5G. So the next reason is the display panel. So obviously much bigger, but the phone size itself actually doesn't feel like much more to handle than the iPhone SE over here. But it's not just that, it has much punchier, richer colors in here. The blacks are much deeper. And you have the notch, which is probably going away with the upcoming Pro, but still looks more modern than the iPhone SE's design, which just looks dinosaur at this point. But some people say that, what is this going to look like if you buy an SE now? Of course, it has 4 years of software support, but what is this going to look like in 2026? I mean, this design is like a decade. It's going to be like a decade old at that point, or even more. So you got to think about that stuff as well if you care a lot about design and stuff like that. But just the display itself, brighter, more vivid, much more up to date. And even now, the OLED on here is just as fantastic as most of the new ones. So I'm very happy still with the display and still recommending it to people here in 2022. OLEDs really haven't got too much better. They're kind of a mature technology that has pretty much stayed the same for quite some time. Now, the SE providing you with that 4.7-inch LCD is also quite good, in terms of color accuracy, but it's not that sharp up close. It's not overly smooth, 60 hertz, but 11 Pro is not 120 hertz either. It's just these bezels, man. They're just very noticeable, but it's still a very good entry-level iPhone to get you started with Apple. But I gotta say, man, for the same money, look what you can get over here. It's just a big jump from the SE. Now, the software on the iPhone 11 Pro actually feels a little bit more modern with the gestures. However, the SE should receive longer software support due to the chipset in here. So we are rocking the A13 Bionic here for the Apple iPhone 11 Pro. But over here, we have the Apple A15 Bionic chip. So couple generations newer means even though the SE has an older design, that chip's going to give it more software support. Still, if you buy the iPhone 11 Pro now, you have at least a good 2 to 3 years, more like 3 left on this chipset, I think, for updates. So you're going to be good for a while. You'll probably upgrade either one of these by that time anyway. So I still would go with the iPhone 11 Pro, just a better experience with the more modern feel of software. When you pull down from the top on the SE, you're getting that old school notification area, and it's just, just not modern. Even Android phones copied Apple, and basically, even a lot of Android phones have basically adopted the gesture system as well. Mostly all of them have, so this just stays more in line with current times. Now, one of the biggest differences here is their biometrics, and a lot of people argue with me on this one, but Face ID is one that I would definitely pick the iPhone 11 Pro for. A lot of people are going to say, no, the physical fingerprint is the best. I want Touch ID back on the iPhone. I agree with you, but I want Face ID to stay as well. The reason I like Face ID is because it's a little bit easier. I do like the Touch ID for pulling it out of the pockets and stuff like that. You don't even have to look at it. It's pretty close call here. You know, the physical tactile feedback with that haptic feel, pretty nice. But Face ID feels more modern. It's actually more secure than Touch ID as well. So I'd pick the iPhone 11 Pro in that area as well. Same money once again, but you're getting the much more secure Face ID. Performance is going to be something I don't think a lot of people actually notice. They're both running, iOS software, and Apple does a really good job at making their phones feel smooth no matter which one you're on. And because neither of these have a 120 hertz or a 90 hertz display, I don't really see a huge difference in everyday usage. Now, yes, technically when we start pushing the phone, the A15 should be a little bit better, but they both have the same amount of RAM on board and they both, run very smooth. So honestly, performance is not going to be enough for me to say get the SE. Simply is not enough. Like, yeah, I love having A15, but when you're comparing this for the same money, I'd rather have this better looking, more premium looking phone with the triple camera setup versus a single camera setup over the chip. It's that good. The 11 Pro was flagship grade. This was never targeted at a flagship grade, but you're going to pay that same money for this phone right here in 2022. A big concern on a lot of people's minds these days is the battery life, and 84% capacity on this one. I still have 100 on the SE 2022. It's not that old, but I gotta say, man, the battery life, pretty good improvement over the SE2, but the SE3, third generation here, still not gonna beat the iPhone 11 Pro. It's just simply a better battery life phone. So again, 11 Pro, same money, look at it, better looking screen and a bigger, better battery life. So still another area to pick this phone right here in everyday usage. Okay, so when it comes to their cameras, we all know the SE is only sporting a single 12 megapixel camera on board. However, this 12 megapixel camera is still very good. It has very good quality, very good video quality, super easy to make videos. You can also just go into the 4K 60 like it's nothing and just get you some high quality stuff here for this phone. However, the front facing camera is not a major jump from prior iPhones over here. It actually doesn't even have 4K video on the front, so it's actually weaker than that one on the iPhone 11 Pro. So the Pro is still the phone I would pick over these two in the camera. You have the ultra wide. You can telephoto zoom on this thing. You also can do 4K 60 on the rear, just like the SE. You have more Pro-like features here. It just overall just feels like the name, the Pro phone. Over here on the front, 12 megapixel camera, and I can't tell you how much better this camera is. It's so much better on the front. It's unbelievable. Like when you put these side by side, the SE just looks cheaper. The quality is just nowhere near that of the 11 Pro on the front. Especially if you like to vlog and do video on the front, you got to get the 11 Pro if you're deciding between these two. So there's just so many things you're giving up besides not getting the 5G on the 11 Pro, but you're giving up a lot, especially considering it's the same price point. That's why I say for $400, man, these cameras are ridiculous if you can find one of these secondhand and around that price range. So the SE does win it out in phone call because it does have better signal strength. It does have Intel modems on the 11 Pro, Qualcomm here on the right. So the SE is actually a better phone as a phone itself. It does have better mobile connectivity to 5G networks. However, 5G, while it is the future, I'm not getting it everywhere like the full 5G download speeds. Even inside my house, sometimes I'm still dropping LTE. So I don't think the iPhone 11 Pro is out of the works just yet. A couple years still, I think it has under its belt. And that's enough for me to say I'd still pick this over this currently. Other than that, there's not much more to discuss. The SE is a rocket under the hood, but I just can't deal with its older design. Not anymore. Not considering phones like this that were once $1,000 can be had at a similar price. It's just tough to be like, yeah, just go get that. Unless, of course, you want a brand new iPhone from the Apple Store. I was going to say the iPhone Store. And you just don't care about all those sacrifices, or you just simply love the classic design. And I can respect that. If you love the classic design, I'm not trying to, say don't do that. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm just saying that for me personally, I like the futuristic, the more up-to-date stuff. But if you love this classic design, it's still cool that Apple has an option for you. But overall, I would say for $400, man, for $450, around that range, $4 to $450, iPhone 11 Pro is the move. You can also get this in silver. You can get it in like a space gray, midnight green, this gold. They got some colors for you. You got the red, white, black here for the SE, but got that matte glass texture on the rear. It just feels solid. It still feels good. I hold this and I'm like, is this the 12 Pro? Is this the 13 Pro? It feels like almost the same phone, just a little more curvy on the sides. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well. Catch you on the next one. Peace.